The world of creation is advancing and the orb of the horizons is in full splendor. Though the sun of truth be hidden behind the clouds of glory, yet its effulgence and rays are continuous and successive. The surface of the earth shall soon become a supreme paradise through divine bestowals, and the dusty realm shall become a mirror of the most exalted heights. The images of the kingdom shall be reflected in the mirror of the world, and the grace of the realm of might shall become manifest and embodied. AB 04622 so that the friends may be raised up with a character and demonstrate a conduct that will make the world a paradise of good pleasure and the face of the earth a supreme heaven, so that the reality of divine attributes may become manifest in the realm of possibility, and the human world may become a mirror of the most great beauty. Faith, certitude, mystic knowledge, truth, integrity, reconciliation, worship of truth, love, oneness, fellowship, and wisdom may become realized and renowned among all peoples. AB 01108 in these days when the leader of vain imaginings hath appeared with utmost might and the hosts of idle fancies have encompassed all directions, and weakness and lassitude have permeated the pillars of being, thou must set the world ablaze through the power of the most great name. Despite all that hath been mentioned, change and transformation, giving and withholding, have ever been within the grasp of God's power. Blessed is the soul that ariseth today with wisdom and guideth the world through the fire of the divine word. BH 00167 The world is receptive and its people are heedless. They seek after thorns and thistles, that is, vain imaginings and idle fancies, while turning away from the pearls of utterance, clinging instead to pebbles and date stones. Today there are seekers for all things except the pearls of wisdom and utterance that have appeared from the treasury of the most exalted pen. These remain without seeker or buyer. Ere long will the world change and people will eagerly seek after them with their very souls. Blessed are they that attain. BH 10707 In order that the slumberous world become awakened, the unconscious become mindful, the universe become another universe, the human world become the realm of the kingdom, earthly emotions become heavenly attractions, cruelty and oppression be changed into love and faithfulness, the clattering of the sword be transformed into the sweet melody of the pen, and the discordant sound of war become the wonderful song of love and intelligence, in order that all the individuals of humanity embrace each other and live among themselves in perfect love and affinity. AB 02135 In a similar manner in the Baha'i cause, there must appear extraordinary spiritual geniuses, wonders of the kingdom of God, souls who in knowledge, sciences, sociability, tenderness, loving-kindness, universality, joyfulness, may be considered unique and peerless. Should such heavenly beings appear in the Western states, the power and the creative energy of the kingdom of Abba will become manifest and apparent, souls who have discovered their ways to the minds of the kingdom, souls who are the irrigators of the grounds of the hearts of humanity, souls who are the wonders of the realm of truth. ABU 0723 I wish this blessing to appear and become manifest in the faces and characteristics of the believers, so that they, too, may become a new people, and having found new life and been baptized with fire and spirit, may make the world a new world, to the end that the old earth may disappear and the new earth appear, old ideas depart and new thoughts come. Old garments be cast aside and new garments put on, ancient politics whose foundation is war be discarded and modern politics founded on peace raise the standard of victory, the new stars shine and gleam and the new sun illumine and radiate, new flowers bloom, the new spring become known, the new breeze blow, the new bounty descend, the new tree give forth new fruit, the new voice become raised and this new sound reach the ears, that the new will follow the new, and all the old furnishings and adornments be cast aside and new decorations put in their places. AB 02184 The Iranians are still asleep while the Americans have awakened. AB 05821 Iran has been ruined by the thoughtlessness of the traditional clergy. AB 12415 In truth, in this wondrous dispensation the Persian friends have made the Iranian people proud. AB 02784 We said and wrote what was for the good and welfare of Iran and the Iranians, but they did not listen. ABU 2852 The inhabitants of Persia are yet asleep, although God has demonstrated to them his cause in so many ways. ABU 2318 If the people of Iran had listened and known the value of these divine teachings, they would have been freed from all calamities. ABU 1602 In the course of conversation about the confusion of the administration of Persian government, the master told him the following story. ABU 2486 will, ere long, bring about the prosperity of Persia and will cause her peoples to become endeared to them of this world and of the next. AB 03351 The flame of longing is kindled in Iran, and the yearning heart of every true reformer is restless, for Iran is sick and in severe distress. AB 03298 Now that the calamity of following the fatwas of thoughtless clerics has become apparent, and the result of party divisions has become evident, AB 00947 Consider what they have brought upon Iran. A people with such ignorant leaders and public affairs in their hands will not fare better than this. AB 04734 Certain ill-intentioned religious leaders, appearing as well-wishers, and wolves dressed as shepherds, do not allow the country to become organized. AB 00607 Currently in Iran there is such chaos that it defies description. Everyone is occupied with themselves and has no opportunity to deal with others. AB 01524 The province of Fars, indeed the realm of Iran, is in ruins. That country is in truth subject to endless illnesses, troubled from every direction. AB 03641 Iran is in ruins, nay rather, all the regions of the world are in turmoil. As the poet saith, tumult and sedition pervade every atom of the universe. AB 10975 Soon will those people vaunt the blessed name of Baha'u'llah in the East and West alike, and swell with pride at the mention of Persia and its people. ABU 3672 Various parties in Iran have not grown repentant yet. Various parties in Iran have no intention of doing good. Their purpose is to gain personal profit. ABU 2311 Victories which, in the future, will redound to the unfading glory of the people of the East, and crown Persia and its inhabitants with the diadem of honor. ABU 3737 From the dawn of the cause in Shiraz, the Mushir has had the temerity to arise against the faith. Ere long, that name will be eradicated from the realm of Fars. BHU 0066 Soon you will observe that the radiance of the Persians' light will illuminate east and west like the shining moon. The fame of Persia will become world-embracing. AB 06579 The events in Iran are as a file upon the spirit and a burning fire. Yet there is hope in the aid and favor of the glorious Lord, and the end shall be praiseworthy. AB 08292 We are striving that the moral stamina of Persia be reinforced, her commerce be increased, her system of education be perfected, her scientific attainment be improved. ABU 1157 This society was founded in the city of Hamadan 600 years ago. It is almost disbanded, but under different names and forms one may come across them in Persia. AB 11297 Convey to the revered personage that for some time the means of havoc have been engendered in Iran and great difficulties have ensued amongst the people and the government. AB 11815 In any case Persia is destroyed and its entire people are engaged in civil wars and struggles. Life has lost its tranquility and all the hearts are crying out continually. AB 00315 What a blessing God bestowed upon the Persians, but they could not appreciate it. Had they not been ungrateful, the government of Persia would have ranked first in the world. ABU 2208 As Persia hath many nomadic tribes, and they are now rebellious and insurgent and infesting the highways, the maidservants of the merciful cannot travel there, but the men can. AB 01468 The Iranians must act in such a way that the realm of Iran becomes the crown of the world, and that is the unity of the human world and the union and agreement of all humanity. ABU 2249 If they had not killed the Qai Makam, Iran would not have been ruined, and if they had heeded the divine counsels, their ancient glory would not have been scattered to the winds. ABU 2973 Today Iran, nay rather the East and the West, has attained a wondrous readiness to hear the call of the most merciful Lord. Ears have opened and souls are seeking to hear the mystery. AB 04370 This conflict will lead to foreign powers' intervention in Iran. At that time both sides will regret it, but regret and remorse will then benefit neither the people nor the government. AB 00665 The dead name hath become alive and the withered body hath become fresh and verdant. The Iranian form, after old age, hath taken on youth and after weakness hath found heavenly bounty. AB 06770 The standard of chaos and confusion hath, in these days, been hoisted in Iran. There is mischief in every place and misfortune in every quarter. The whole of creation is sorely distressed. AB 12811. If this is carried out, rest assured that in a short time Iran will become bright and illumined like the full moon and will make extraordinary progress in all material and spiritual degrees. AB 06140. Iran has superiority over other regions because it was specially endowed with this bounty. But other regions received illumination from the land of Iran and acquired lights from those regions. AB 02477. But alas, this cause, though it first appeared in Persia, yet eventually it shall be seen how the peoples of Europe have wrested it from its hands. Take note of this and remember it in future. AB 02805. As to the people of Iran, they were all in the utmost distress from this revolution, all scattered and homeless, for no nest was left untouched. This was due to what their own hands had wrought. AB 04076. Iran is now in ruins, and in the most holy book this news is clear and evident. This disorder will continue for a time, but will eventually give way to tranquility and dignity, as is written in the text. AB 03666. So that perhaps the Persian people in this divine cycle may be so stirred to enthusiasm and excitement that they may snatch the ball of precedence and leadership from all others in the arena of knowledge. AB 04392. From the day when the most exalted pen moved regarding the Persians and the blessed will was directed toward their glory and honor, the Persians became more honored with each day and made greater progress. ABU 2819. Iran is desolate and in need of noble souls who would establish new foundations for Iran's prosperity. But alas, alas! Previously all were drowning in desires, having no aim except amassing worldly ornaments. AB 00757. The upheaval in Iran will not subside. It will continue one after another until it becomes clear and evident that nothing except the teachings and counsels of the Blessed Beauty can bring comfort and tranquility. AB 12238. Baha'u'llah, however, has illumined that land, and will surely raise her high in the eyes of all the world. That country shall so advance and develop as to excite the envy and admiration of the East and the West. AB 02805. Praise be unto God that country, Persia, hath been blessed by his mercy and is fragrant with the breeze of his holiness. Praise be unto him that the divine mysteries are being spread by the most wonderful means. AB 03817. This great woman's movement which is stirring and vibrating all round the whole world is a sign of spirit awakening. Even in Persia they stir, they awake, and many have become Baha'is and are freed from the old chains. ABU 2697. Iran is desolate and much hardship must be endured so that, God willing, improvement may appear in Iran's condition. Though Iran's political affairs are in disarray, its spiritual affairs are unified and growing stronger. AB 01322. Although they squandered Iran's independence, Iran is progressing day by day. One must not lose hope, for everyone's turn lasts but 5 days. Nothing remains the same way forever. In any case, Iran's future is very bright. ABU 3158. Because the sun of reality has risen from the horizon of Iran, the Iranians must act in such a way that the realm of Iran becomes the crown of the world. The Iranians should attain to this bounty and triumph more than others. ABU 2249. For the people of Kerman are in infinite need of education, nay, all of Iran is in need of education. Until now no significant enlightened souls have appeared in the assemblies of Iran, and if there be any, the rare is as the non-existent. AB 09913. O ye loving friends of Abdul-Baha! Your letter written with deep sorrow, grief, anguish, and sadness was received, in which you stated how Persia has fallen to ruin, and how that glorious country has become an infernal place of trials and tribulations. AB 02286. Iran is in need of the confirmations of the invisible realm. For in this day, Persia can be rescued only through the confirmations of the unseen realm. Human endeavors are even as a lamp, but it is the light of the sun that illumines this endless world. ABU 3762. For from the time of Alexander the Greek until the emergence of Ardashir, Iran was in ruins and under the dominion and aggression of foreigners. Although outwardly there were local kings, in reality Iran was under the influence and control of ill-wishers. AB 02632. O people of Iran! Ye have been the dawning places of mercy and the daysprings of compassion and love. The regions of the world were illumined and adorned with the light of your knowledge. How is it that ye have arisen to destroy yourselves and your friends? BH00927 Take on the radiance of the good ones and accept the way of the ancient kings. Become a Faradin in guidance and a Jamshid of the realm of God's incomparable love. Become a fairy-faced manager of the free spirits and a Kayumars of the city of the righteous. AB02520 Glory be to God. All parties have caused the ruin of Iran and have reduced this ancient nation and government to the ashes of abasement. They ruined it during the time of independence and made it the arena of the thoughtless during the constitutional period. AB06151 What bounty God bestowed upon us Iranians! What a great sun of felicity rose and shone forth from the horizon of the east! Alas, that we did not recognize its worth, and thus have fallen into this sorrowful state and reaped the consequences of our own deeds. ABU 3300 For the prosperity and success of the government and people of Iran is a matter decreed and assured. If proper means be employed, this bounty will be speedily attained and the beloved object of royal desire will be made manifest, otherwise there will be delay. AB 06831 Now from this you can judge what will be the future of Persia, which is the birthplace of the blessed perfection, Baha'u'llah. Its climate is delightful, its soil is rich, its waters salubrious, its gardens charming, its meadows green, and its topography varied. ABU 1227 As Persia has experienced these sad events, the Lord in His mercy has willed it to illumine that country, and it is assured that her future condition will be more glorious than the past, and that she may advance greatly along the path of science, industry, and arts. ABU 1588 The discussion became general about the conditions of Persia and Turkey, the unfortunate reverses that these two Islamic nations have had during the last 2 generations, owing to the lack of public-spirited servants and misadministration of the government affairs. ABU 0952 These current details are causes of ruin. These differences, these various parties, one democratic and one moderate, day by day they are destroying Iran. Compare Iran's current condition with 10 years ago. These differences have ruined Iran and are increasing day by day. ABU 0550 This day is the anniversary of many historical events, among them the victory of the Persians over the Arabs who invaded Persia and were successfully repulsed. This day in Persia inaugurates a feast which continues for 13 days and in which all take part, rich and poor alike. ABU 0881 For all parties have clearly and definitely shown, nay, have become personified and embodied that they were the cause of turmoil, while the friends, through the aid and care of the Lord of Lords, have become the cause of ease and comfort for Iran, nay rather for the entire world. AB 00902 Therefore, the friends must strive with heart and soul to bring these bewildered Iranians to their senses. If they should so endeavor, it is certain that they will find deliverance from this abyss of humiliation and abasement and will progress in the degrees of eternal glory of humankind. AB 10664 Iran will be laid waste and its government and people will fall into utmost hardship, but we have illumined Iran and desired eternal glory for the Iranians. Although Iran is now obscure among nations, this great cause will eventually make the people of Iran the joy of the world of possibility. AB 004160 People of Persia. Ye have been the dawning places of mercy and the daysprings of compassion and love. The realms of existence have been illumined and adorned with the light of your knowledge and wisdom. How is it that ye have arisen to destroy yourselves and your friends with your own hands? BH00514 The wisdom of my sojourn here in Paris, as well as the results it will yield, consist in the admonitions I have imparted to the people of the East, and the awareness I have instilled in the Persians, and this to a degree greater than has been achieved with the inhabitants of Paris themselves. ABU 3752 Since we discerned no fruit from the counsel we gave our countrymen, nor could we find a hearing ear among them, we felt it necessary to turn our attention to the West. While our compatriots busied themselves with the destruction of their families, we were engaged in securing everlasting victories. ABU 3737 You must ever concentrate your thoughts on the acquisition of knowledge, that unending confirmations may successively reach you from the kingdom of God, and that through His grace you may exert mighty efforts and strenuous endeavors for the progress of Iran and the advancement of the Iranian people. AB 08788 Affairs have fallen into the hands of children. Affairs have fallen into the hands of the base and incompetent. No authority remains for the sovereign. It will take long before Iran becomes Iran. Until it comes under the divine breaths of God, it is impossible. Whatever reforms are made are temporary. ABU 2744 Iran must act in such a way that others derive greater benefit from the appearance of the Son of Truth, meaning that the divine teachings should have greater effect in other lands than in Iran itself, for Iran is the dawning place of the Son of Truth, and its rays must spread from Iran to other regions. ABU 1267 Tyran. O Amin, upon thee be the glory of God, the most glorious. He is God. O thou who art firm in the covenant. Thy letter dated the 7th of Dhul-Hijjah 1339 was received. The world of humanity, particularly Iran, is in great turmoil, and changes and transformations in all conditions follow one after another. AB 01686 We have counseled the statesmen of Persia to the utmost of our ability, but no one listened or accepted our advice. While traveling in Europe, I met many of the Persian princes, ministers, and prominent men of that ancient country, and told them the truth of the matter, but the majority of them did not like it. ABU 2156 Persia has unlimited possibilities for the development of its material resources, but there must needs be civilizing influences and untiring efforts. Their means will be made available in the not-distant future. Persia will become the paradise of the world, because it is the birthplace of the manifestation of God. ABU 1121 Time passed, and now again the time of good fortune has arrived and the sun of auspicious destiny has dawned. The breeze of divine favor has blown upon this clime and the light of bounty has shone forth. The brilliant sun has risen from the eastern realm and the life-giving fragrance has wafted from the land of Iran. AB 02897 However, it was observed that in Iran, regarding Parliament, a strange uproar has arisen among the various groups and religions. There is no doubt that this Parliament too, like the two previous Parliaments, will be fruitless, for it consists of noise and clamor rather than the investigation of the welfare of Iranians. AB 09517 Had the people of Persia been apprised of this fact, and had they appreciated the value of these divine teachings, they would have been freed from every calamity. Among the statements which Baha'u'llah made in several of his tablets are the following: certain laws and principles are necessary and indispensable for Persia. ABU 3709 I have heartfelt attachment to Iranians and desire that justice, fairness, and freedom from oppression be known of them throughout the world. As the Arab poet says, my country, though it treats me harshly, is dear to me, and my people, though they be stingy toward me, are noble. We have utmost attachment to Iran and Iranians. AB 05678 It is hoped that the Iranians too will awaken, move beyond metaphor, become aware of and comprehend the truth, and realize that the Son of Truth has risen from the dawning place of Iran and has shed its rays upon all horizons. Strange it is that strangers have awakened while familiars remain asleep in the bed of heedlessness. AB 00991 Glory be to God. For 1,000 years the Iranian nation, especially the Shiites, had been lamenting and weeping and mourning for the master of martyrs, the martyr of the plain of Karbala, raising their wailing and lamentation to the celestial sphere because Yazid's impure army rode horses over that martyr's body and showed no mercy. AB 00010, Tablet on the Martyrs of Yazd and Isfahan. I hope that he will make Iran once again the envy of the world and exalt the Persians in both worlds, that faces may become radiant and hearts may become the repository of the mysteries of the Lord of bounties. Glad tidings unto you that the night of deprivation hath come to an end and the bright day of the Pashtidians hath dawned anew. AB 08075 Strive ye and make an effort, for Iran is the homeland of the compassionate beloved, and Persia is the source of the rising of the brilliant morn. Perchance through the endeavors of the friends, the people of that land may witness the radiance of the shining moon and receive their share and portion of the outpourings of the Lord of Signs. AB 03195 There was a time when the Persian dynasty died out and no trace remained thereof. On such a day, Naraz, a new one was founded. Jamshid ascended the throne. Persia became happy and at peace. Therefore, the Persian nation, for the last 5,000 or 6,000 years, has always considered the feast of Naraz as a day of national happiness. ABU 0220 It should not be imagined that the people of Persia are inherently deficient in intelligence, or that for essential perceptiveness and understanding, inborn sagacity, intuition, and wisdom, or innate capacity, they are inferior to others. God forbid. On the contrary, they have always excelled all other peoples in endowments conferred by birth. AB 00004, The Secret of Divine Civilization, they sacrifice themselves for both government and people, and are the cause of true progress for the people of Iran. They are content with modest wages, and wash their hands of improper income and customary bribes. Through all means they strive for the happiness of the nation, and in every way they seek that which leads to Iran's advancement. AB 07009 The Persians destroyed their home with their own hands in the hope of building another one, but now they are left in the desert without a home or shelter. We wrote and exhorted them, pointing out that the union of government and the people is like combining milk and honey, otherwise, the neighboring governments will encroach upon the country. ABU 2830 However, Iran will certainly shine with the light of truth, and spiritual glory is destined for Iran and the Iranians. Though political independence may not remain, praise be to God that spiritual illumination has shone forth from Iran to the east and west of the world. This glory is enduring and without end, and this bounty is eternal and limitless. AB 00221 The territory of Iran hath become an arena for cavalry and woe and aggression, and the fires of oppression and tyranny have been ignited therein through the occurrence of conflict between the parties. No breast remaineth except wounded by arrows, no liver except injured by spears, and no body except prostrate upon the dust of abasement and humiliation. AB 005020 Beloved of the Lord, there exist upon this terrestrial globe mighty peoples, tribes, nations, and governments, each of which is renowned in the East and the West for its attainments, arts, and sciences. Yet, by virtue of the divine favors, it is above the horizon of Iran that the daystar of truth hath risen and hath cast its merciful rays over every land. AB 04631 Railways have become widespread throughout all regions of the world. Now the merchants and wealthy ones among the Baha'is must think day and night about building railways in Iran. If this railway is built, it will cause the development of the Ottomans and Iranians, indeed all the people of Asia, for it will facilitate the pilgrimage and expand general commerce. AB 00459 As to Persia, which to this day remains in such an abject and ruinous state, every man of wisdom, whether from within or without her borders, who knows her true state of affairs recognizes that her progress, her prosperity, and her civilization depend entirely upon the promulgation of the teachings and the dissemination of the principles of this glorious being. AB 00029, SAQ number 09, regarding Iran, about which you had inquired, know that this revolution and turmoil will eventually end, and in the future time to come Iran will be like a brilliant, shining star. Do not become discouraged by these present difficulties. Pray that God may assist the government and people of Iran and grant them deliverance and salvation from this revolution and turmoil. AB 088860 Persians. The east and west of the world are astir, and the holy fragrances have perfumed the nostrils of the most distant lands. How is it that ye, being Persians, remain deprived and bereft? Such a crown hath God placed upon your heads, and such a brilliant star hath risen from your horizon. How is it that ye still wander in darkness? This is strange and peculiar. AB 05085 What do they know of political affairs? What caution do they show? What danger do they perceive? They have reclined on the pillow of laziness, and like a nightmare have fallen upon the body of the nation. Therefore, whatever occurs to their weak minds they issue as religious edicts and ultimately scatter the people and leave them without head or shelter, making Iran desolate. AB 12167 The radiance of the Persians had set for a time in the west of forgetfulness, but now it hath risen again from the east of the Creator's grace with a new splendor and boundless grandeur, manifesting such might and majesty that it hath illumined the horizons and set all creation in motion. Every tongue hath been moved to praise, and all hearts have been stirred to excitement. AB 09313 At the outset of that revolution in Persia known as the Constitutional Revolution, I wrote again and again that until such time as that government and its people become commingled, even as milk and honey, their success and prosperity will remain entirely unattainable. Persia shall fall into ruin, and the governments of its neighboring realms will ultimately meddle in its affairs. ABU 3725. O Lord. The Persians are ancient servants and from the ancient peoples of Iran. For 1,000 years they were captive in chains and bonds and were abased and humbled in the hands of oppressors. Now the brilliant orb has risen and shone forth intensely. The beloved of the horizons has become the beauty of the gathering and has made mountain and plain into rose garden and flower bed. AB 02282. They will organize new industries, found the traces of civilization, various factories, the spread of commerce, increase of agriculture, and the universalization of learning. As soon as security and tranquility are reached to the limit of perfection by the endeavors of the government, they will come, and will make the territory of Persia the envy of the world and of the other provinces. AB 09117. Today the success and prosperity of Iran and Iranians lies in this. And now too it is submitted that this is the brilliant star, this is the life-giving remedy. If you desire Iran's ascent to Saturn's height, you must serve at the divine court so the All-Merciful's palace gate may open. Otherwise the future will be like the past and Iranians will remain followers and imitators of Mufti and Judge. AB 00758. The events in Iran are the cause of grief and infinite sorrow and regret. Blind be the eye that weeps not for thee. In brief, the unenlightened divines who knew nothing of the political world joined hands with thoughtless leaders, and the unaware Muhammad Ali Shah ignited the fire of conflict and strife, laid waste to Iran, and became the manifestation of we have put enmity and hatred between them. AB 01309. O people of Persia! How long will you wander? How long must your confusion last? How long will it go on, this conflict of opinions, this useless antagonism, this ignorance, this refusal to think? Others are alert, and we sleep our dreamless sleep. Other nations are making every effort to improve their condition. We are trapped in our desires and self-indulgences, and at every step we stumble into a new snare. AB 00004. The secret of divine civilization. Persians have attempted every possible experiment. They have experimented with liberty and with constitutional law, with absolute power and with independence, with alliance with, or antagonism towards, neighboring governments, with republicanism and with anarchy. None of these has led to success and advancement. To the contrary, the situation has deteriorated day by day, and Persia has been further destroyed. ABU 3762. The first musician of Persia is Barbad, who lived about 2,000 years ago. He is the first man who translated these pleasant sounds into the voice of man. The second musical genius of Persia is Farabi, who lived 1,000 years ago and invented the musical notes. The Europeans claim that they are the ones who originated the notes, but the Book of Farabi was found in the Arabian Library of Spain and sets at naught such a claim. ABU 0556. The Persians were caught for 1,300 years in the circle of existence on the arc of descent until they reached the utmost degree of fall and descent. Now, praise be to God, through heavenly grace and divine bestowal they are ascending from their fall and traversing the arc of ascent under the shadow of the favors of the blessed beauty. Day by day they rise higher, and moment by moment they become more joyful. AB 03708. Soon shalt thou see that land perfumed with the breezes of holiness and brightened with the light of its ancient splendor. Therefore must the Persians appreciate this bounty and praise the Lord of all creation for having vouchsafed such a blessing, bestowed such peace, and conferred such grace. He hath made their ancient homeland the most exalted of regions, and their dwelling place the dawning point of the manifest light. AB 01603. During the period of history of the Parthians from 400 BC until 300 AD, namely during the dark 700 years, the time-honored language of the Avesta declined. The Zend deteriorated into a mixture with neighboring languages. Under the rule of the Sassanids, the Aramaic language of the Near East displaced all the other language mixtures and combined with the Old Persian to a new language structure, the Pahlavi or Huzvaresh. ABU 0201. Observe how in the revolution of Iran, nay rather the turmoil of the entire world, what scenes appeared on this stage, and finally all were rolled up with neither fruit nor trace, neither result nor news except ruin and dispersion and regret. Neither victor nor vanquished, both were in loss, for the blood of 30 million souls was spilled in vain, and humanity was endangered, and cities and villages were overturned without result or fruit. AB 00902. There was a time when Persia was like a fragrant bouquet perfuming all the nostrils, and she was the center of the glory and honor of the world of humanity. The inhabitants of Persia from a social, industrial, political, and moral standpoint were superior to the rest of mankind. Now the conditions are changed, and the same lofty standard is not kept waving aloft. Like a great giant, she is prostrated on the ground while groaning with a pitiful voice. ABU 1588. The parable of Iran is like a verdant and flourishing field that has been seized by cold, with abundant snow fallen upon it. Soon the heat of the sun will melt and disperse the snows, then with utmost beauty that cultivation and garden will swiftly grow and progress. In any case, Iran will soon advance, though internal politics. This situation with their politics that you see continues for some time, until we see what God's politics will do with them. ABU 0189. Iran in that day was as the heart of the world. She was the bright torch flaming in the assemblage of mankind. Her power and glory shone out like the morning above the world's horizons, and the splendor of her learning cast its rays over east and west. Word of the widespread empire of those who wore her crown reached even to the dwellers in the Arctic Circle, and the fame of the awesome presence of her King of Kings humbled the rulers of Greece and Rome. AB 00004. The secret of divine civilization. May Iranians advance to such a degree that they will shine throughout all regions, become the example for all nations, establish the virtues of the human world, and progress both materially and culturally. May Iran become the center of sciences and arts and the source of crafts and innovations. May it serve the world of morality, become the cause of promoting universal peace. May it establish unprecedented laws and ordinances that will serve as a model throughout all regions. ABU 1133. His Majesty the Shah has, at the present time, 1875, resolved to bring about the advancement of the Persian people, their welfare and security, and the prosperity of their country. He has spontaneously extended assistance to his subjects, displaying energy and fair-mindedness, hoping that by the light of justice he might make Iran the envy of East and West, and set that fine fervor which characterized the first great epics of Persia to flowing again through the veins of her people. AB 00004. The secret of divine civilization. May Iranians advance to such a degree that they will shine throughout all regions, become the example for all nations, establish the virtues of the human world, and progress both materially and culturally. May Iran become the center of sciences and arts and the source of crafts and innovations. May it serve the world of morality, become the cause of promoting universal peace. May it establish unprecedented laws and ordinances that will serve as a model throughout all regions. ABU 1133. His Majesty the Shah has, at the present time, 1875, resolved to bring about the advancement of the Persian people, their welfare and security, and the prosperity of their country. He has spontaneously extended assistance to his subjects, displaying energy and fair-mindedness, hoping that by the light of justice he might make Iran the envy of East and West, and set that fine fervor which characterized the first great epics of Persia to flowing again through the veins of her people. AB 00004. The secret of divine civilization. Although in recent years there has been movement and striving of political parties in Iran, all claiming to be working for Iran's welfare, to adorn the country and bring rest to the helpless subjects, to make the land prosperous and victorious, the banner of Kavian, yet no party succeeded. The prosperous realm became buried, Iran was laid waste, and it became proven and established that Iran will not attain to the summit of eternal glory except through the breath of the All-Merciful. AB 02940. For many centuries the horizon of Persia was shrouded in darkness, and the country of Iran was an open arena for the Arab, Turk, and Tajik. Now the sun of the universe on high hath shone forth from the orient of glory, and its zodiacal tower was the region and province of Persia. Therefore the Zoroastrians must commemorate that day like unto the auspicious New Year's Day, and occupy their time in celebrating the praises and commendations of the forgiving Lord with the utmost joy and gladness. AB 09146. The Almighty God found Iran in darkness and deemed it worthy of endless favors. Therefore, the sun of the celestial realm cast its rays and illumined the horizons of that region. The oppressed Persians, who for 1,000 years had crept into the corner of destitution, experienced 1,000 sudden calamities, and reached the utmost degree of weakness. When the celestial star illumined the horizon of Iran, they found spiritual revival and attained enthusiasm and attraction of heart and soul. AB 05663. In this upheaval of Iran, no breast remained that was not made a target for the arrows of tribulation, and no foundation remained that was not breached. Many a household was left without head or shelter, and many a gathering of hearts was scattered. What a devastating hunter was that which passed through this wilderness! The foundation of tyranny and oppression was overthrown, yet the edifice of freedom has not to this day been established. Iran is still in ruins, and parties are in strife and turmoil. AB 10992, for example, Iran was independent for 800 years, yet this independence was never beneficial. Day by day it declined until Iran was laid waste, especially in recent times. Now for nearly 20 years, the flames of civil war have been burning in Iran. All provinces have been devastated, the people's property has been plundered and pillaged, the earthquake of disorder has shaken Iran, various parties have emerged, and each party having its own desires. They are constantly in conflict and strife. AB 12107. The peoples of Persia are busied with their own selves, and beneath the weight of strife and bloodshed, the majority are weary of life and existence. They seek a refuge, yet there is no place to flee to, no refuge that anyone can seek, no haven to repair unto, and no shelter to find, except the kingdom of Abba that hath caused the whole world to be stirred and shaken, and will, ere long, bring about the prosperity of Persia, and will cause her peoples to become endeared to them of this world and of the next. AB 03351. You tell them that we declare unto you that the glories of Persia will become in the future thousandfold. If you don't believe in our declaration, make a note of it in a book that a day is soon coming when Persia shall reach the highest zenith of glory, it will be built and become very prosperous. All the ancient cities of Persia will be built up, and the fame of Persia and the Persians shall be spread over all the regions of the world, and the greatness of the Persian civilization will cover the east and the west. ABU 0434. During the reign of the late monarch, Fath Ali Shah, even as the Russian troops were crossing the river Aras, the first traitor was Sayyid Fatah, that ignorant cleric who opened wide the gates of Tabriz and welcomed the Russian army, thus creating such tumult and agitation in the city as to frighten and alarm the inhabitants, causing the notables to escape, forsaking all their cares and belongings. Once peace and harmony were established, Sayyid Fatah sought refuge in Russia, and eventually all his hopes were shattered. AB 01640. Now I have found the opportunity to answer the petitions recently received and forward them to you in this mail. Regarding the subject of Persia, praise be to God. She became the east of the sun of truth in this age. The light of eternity dawned, the everlasting glory unveiled her countenance, and the reality of mercifulness became manifest. This is the prosperity of Persia. Undoubtedly she will progress day by day under the shade of the blessed tree until her illumination shall penetrate throughout the wide expanse of the earth. AB 00490. Many articles were published in the newspapers that the great, final result of this war would not be bad for Persia. The various political parties in Persia, such as the Party of Liberty, the Revolutionary Party, the Democratic Party, the Unionist Party, in brief, all these and other parties brought ruin upon that country. But, God willing, ere long these exiled ones will be assisted to render a most great service to Persia and the Persians, because we are taking hold of every effective means and are connected with important personages. AB 03887. In these days, due to the counsels of Abdul Baha, in all the cities of Iran the Friends are reposing in the cradle of peace and security, while during this upheaval all other parties have been in the utmost distress. However, in the regions of Khorasan until now the Friends remain caught in the grip of oppression and enmity, while Iran, which in ancient times was the center of humanity and civilization and was renowned throughout the horizons for its nobility, is now caught in such conditions: no modesty or shame, no justice or faithfulness, no fear of God. AB 01948. They imagine that through imitating the people of the West and through the confused thoughts of the people of Iran, Persia will progress. Alas! Alas! Despite God having caused such a brilliant sun to rise from the horizon of Iran, whose rays have struck both east and west, And having established such a covenant that is the cause of Iran's eternal glory and the means of progress in all aspects, whether material, moral, or political, this most great force which gives life to Iran, the Iranians are heedless of it and wish to revive Iran through these vain thoughts. AB 00699, the brilliant star of the Persians' hopes had set and vanished in the west for 1,000 years. Praise be to God, it has risen from the east of heavenly glory with utmost brilliance and radiance. A new cycle has come, fresh life has been attained. That spiritual spring which for 1,000 years until now had passed through seasons of summer, autumn, and winter, has come again with utmost freshness and grace with the hosts of divine bounty. Creation has pitched its tent in the plains and wilderness of Iran, and the ultimate hopes and desires of the Persians have been realized. AB 00200, but alas! Alas! Still the majority of the inhabitants of Persia are in sound sleep and have not heard, neither are they informed with the most eminent bestowal. The owner of the house has come at the door, but the dwellers in the house have shut the door and do not desire to let him in. They have treated the friend as though he was a stranger and the known as though he was unknown. They seem to say, "We are satisfied with this degradation. We are comfortable amidst all these distractions, dissipations, groveling dirt, and uncleanliness. We do not want the owner of the house. We are not seeking his faith." ABU 1795. Speaking of Malkam Khan, when the German emperor gave Bismarck the title of Prince, Nasir-Din Shah heard of this and said we should also bestow this title, and thus gave this title to Mirza Malkam Khan. Mirza Malkam Khan spent his life in vain. He was very intelligent and knew several languages, but lacked wisdom. For instance, in Tehran he told Nasir-Din Shah that Europe's order, organization, and progress was due to their having Freemasonry lodges, and if you establish this too, the same will occur. The Shah accepted this and ordered its establishment, compelling all ministers to join that circle. ABU 3152. It is clear and evident that you have never entertained any thoughts of self and have always, with pure intent, been engaged in service to the cause of God. And praise be to God, you are assisted and confirmed. You wrote about conditions in Iran that there is depression and inflation. Until Iran becomes illumined with the lights of faith, that is, until the horizons of Iran are brightened by the lights of the Blessed Beauty's teachings, comfort, tranquility, prosperity, success, and progress in all degrees will not be achieved. Otherwise, different factions are constantly in conflict and strife, causing the ruin of Iran. AB 00989. I pray and seek ease for humanity, but humanity itself becomes the cause of difficulty. It is as if someone builds an edifice while another destroys it. Throughout Europe and America, we strived until we raised high the reputation of Iran and made people love Iran and made Iranians prominent in the eyes of all. But the thoughtlessness of Iranians destroys whatever we build. We wish to prove that Iranians are the foremost reformers of the world and the greatest well-wishers of humanity, and that they have always served and continue to serve the world of humanity. Yet Iranians rise up against each other in bloodshed within Iran itself. ABU 1133. In these days Iran is in turmoil, the fire of oppression is ablaze, truthfulness, sincerity, and justice are concealed, while tyranny, corruption, and oppression prevail. Glory be to God! Most of the people of Iran are observed to be deprived of human virtues. They have ever cursed and reviled the Sunnis while praising themselves, but divine justice did not remain hidden and shone forth like the sun from the horizon of will. This wronged one beareth witness that no party in the world hath been more heedless, more rejected, and more foolish than the Shari'ah party. They are sheer ignorance, yet consider themselves the repository of knowledge. BH 01114. The Blessed Beauty appeared at a time when the countries of Iran were immersed in such darkness and ignorance and consumed by the most extreme fanatical prejudices. You have undoubtedly read in detail about the character, conduct, and thoughts of the Iranians in recent centuries as recorded in European histories, so there is no need to repeat it. Suffice it to say that the country had reached such a state of degradation that all foreign travelers lamented how this nation, which in earlier centuries had attained the highest degree of glory and civilization, had now fallen so low and lay in ruins, its very foundation destroyed, and its people reduced to a primitive state. AB 00029, SAQ number 09, O people of Persia. Awake from your drunken sleep. Rise up from your lethargy. Be fair in your judgment. Will the dictates of honor permit this holy land, once the wellspring of world civilization, the source of glory and joy for all mankind, the envy of East and West, to remain an object of pity, deplored by all nations? She was once the noblest of peoples. Will you let contemporary history register for the ages her now degenerate state? Will you complacently accept her present wretchedness, when she was once the land of all mankind's desire? Must she now, for this contemptible sloth, this failure to struggle, this utter ignorance, be accounted the most backward of nations? AB 00004, the secret of divine civilization, justice and truthfulness have become so absent and concealed that no trace thereof can be found amongst the people. The horizons of the heaven of truth have been darkened by the gloom of the people of hypocrisy. Most of the decrees of the administrative circles of Iran have been and continue to be contrary to that which justice and fairness command. They have no purpose save vain ornaments. Day and night they are occupied with plunder and pillage. The affairs of the threshold are entirely conducted through consultation with the pretenders. What they have taken, they have not returned to its owner. Outwardly they appeared in agreement, but inwardly they were discovered to be hypocrites. They had and have no desire save the seizing of wealth. BH 001560, thou who art firm in the covenant. At a time when the previous National Assembly was at the height of its power, and the Shah himself sent the Prime Minister to come to welcome the divines and return them to Tehran with utmost respect and consideration, and when they arrived in Tehran, all the people and the government received them with the highest honor and dignity, welcoming them with great pomp, and for 3 days and nights they held celebrations, and the National Assembly was formed. Some of the followers of Yahya gained complete influence in the assembly and engaged in corruption, setting the government and nation against each other until matters reached such a point that they were determined to depose the Shah and enthrone another. AB 00113, through the great bounty of the merciful Lord, I hope that each of these newcomers will become the cause of Iran's progress and the nobility of Iranians. Indeed, may they shine like lamps in the assembly of the world and gleam like bright stars from the horizon of the world. Many centuries passed during which Iran's luminous morning had set in the west of obscurity. Now praise be to God, a brilliant dawn and gleaming morning light has shone forth from Iran's horizon upon all regions. That light, like the breaking dawn, is spreading and will soon encompass the world. It will illumine the dark world with divine lights and bestow celestial radiance. Iran will become the center of divine inspirations and the source of endless bounties for humanity. At that time the star of Persia's ancient glory will rise from the holy dawning place. AB 01267, in truth, there was not a single capable, knowledgeable person in Iran, and no aware soul could be found. Now they hope that some people from the East will study in Europe and return to Iran to become a cause of development. Even assuming proper education and correct action, it would take 1,000 years for Iran to develop and flourish and for Tehran to become like Paris. Even then it would not match Europe. Mirza Taqi Khan, the Prime Minister, although he committed such oppression against the cause that no one had ever done before, nevertheless laid foundations in political affairs and national matters that truly possessed the utmost firmness, even though he had never entered any school in Europe. Yes, proper education assists one who is wise, aware, and confirmed, but if there is no innate knowledge and divine confirmation, what fruit and effect does mere education have? ABU 2058, the land of Persia is the Orient, and the people of Persia are precious and beloved. The realm of Iran is the eastern clime and has been the country of the godly ones from the beginning. For a time, there came a decline and negligence appeared. The moon of its glory's zenith set, and the star of its wisdom and knowledge descended. The wise became foolish and the learned became ignorant. A light shone forth from a foreign land and an army arrived from a neighboring realm. The carpet of the Persians was rolled up and the joy of the Iranians came to an end. The bright day became dark in their sight and the rose garden became a thorny wilderness. Time passed, and now again the time of good fortune has arrived and the sun of auspicious destiny has dawned. The breeze of divine favor has blown upon this clime and the light of bounty has shone forth. The brilliant sun has risen from the eastern realm and the life-giving fragrance has wafted from the land of Iran. AB 02897 in this luminous age, which is the mighty century of the Lord, when from the rays of the sun of truth the lights of civilization have spread to all regions, and human perfections and divine virtues are diffused like the dawning light in east and west to such a degree that savagery and bloodthirstiness among humankind have become abandoned customs, nay, in civilized countries entirely forgotten, and when religious persecutions have wholly ceased and ignorant prejudices been nullified. And among peoples and tribes, aside from international wars and political thoughts, no conflict, contention, or strife remains, and all nations and peoples rest in the cradle of peace and security, and all communities are safe from the evil of oppressors and protected in an impregnable fortress. Yet in Iran, when the divine call was raised and the luminous dawn broke and the sun of truth shone forth, souls who had been rescued from the lowest depths of ignorance attained the highest degrees of humanity and became the center of divine inspirations. AB 00010, Tablet on the Martyrs of Yazd and Isfahan, O people of Persia. Look into those blossoming pages that tell of another day, a time long past. Read them and wonder, see the great sight. Iran in that day was as the heart of the world, she was the bright torch flaming in the assemblage of mankind. Her power and glory shone out like the morning above the world's horizons, and the splendor of her learning cast its rays over east and west. Word of the widespread empire of those who wore her crown reached even to the dwellers in the Arctic Circle, and the fame of the awesome presence of her King of Kings humbled the rulers of Greece and Rome. The greatest of the world's philosophers marveled at the wisdom of her government, and her political system became the model for all the kings of the 4 continents then known. She was distinguished among all peoples for the scope of her dominion, she was honored by all for her praiseworthy culture and civilization. She was as the pivot of the world, she was the source and center of sciences and arts, the wellspring of great inventions and discoveries, the rich mine of human virtues and perfections. The intellect, the wisdom of the individual members of this excellent nation dazzled the minds of other peoples. The brilliance and perceptive genius that characterized all this noble race aroused the envy of the whole world. AB 00004, The Secret of Divine Civilization. From its earliest days, thou didst make the soil of Persia to be musk-scented and soul-stirring, gem-laden and knowledge-bearing. Above its east shineth at all times thy luminous orb, and from its west appeareth the radiant moon. Its land fostereth love, its heavenly plains teem with enchanting herbs and flowers, its slopes are replete with fresh and delectable fruits, its meadows are the envy of the Garden of Eden, its wisdom beareth tidings of the celestial realm, its fervor is that of the fathomless and surging ocean. For a time, the flame of its knowledge was extinguished and the star of its greatness hidden beneath a veil. Its vernal breezes gave way to autumnal blasts, and its delightsome rose garden was filled with tares and thorns, its wellspring of limpid waters turned brackish and stale, and its greatest and most precious souls were made homeless wanderers in distant lands, its effulgent light was dimmed and its mighty river reduced to a narrow stream. But at last, the ocean of thy bounty surged forth and the sun of thy favor shone resplendent. A new springtime arrived, and a vivifying breeze wafted, the clouds rained down, and that day-star of loving-kindness shone resplendent. The country was stirred to life again, the barren dust turned into a rose garden, and the darksome earth became the envy of every orchard. The world became a new world and resounded with its praise. The mountains and the plains became green and verdant, and the birds of the field warbled their chorus of sweet melodies. This indeed is a time for joy. AB 01999 Akka and Haifa will be connected, and all this land will be fertile and developed. ABU 2473 The day has come in which Carmel is revived and is rejoicing. That day has come for you to return to Palestine and see how it is flourishing. ABU 3142 In the future, on foot and holding bouquets of flowers above their heads and carrying wreaths, the monarchs of the earth will come on pilgrimage to the sacred shrines. ABU 1489 God willing, a day will come when that region and land will become a divine rose garden and the most glorious kingdom will encompass it. This is the desire of the sincere ones and this is the hope of the Unitarians. AB 01418 The rocky crags of this mountain shall be transformed into gardens of flowers and roses, and shall become a place of pilgrimage for all the peoples of the world. The edifice of the most exalted shrine shall be expanded. ABU 2847 all of these barren fields will become fertile and cultivated. The scattered tribes of the Jewish people will be united. This region will become the center of industry and commerce, and will be refined and populated. Of this there is no doubt. ABU 1125 the spiritual inheritance coming down from an age of the prophets and going back to an era of the patriarchs and the sacred stories and blessed traditions woven around every spot, will make this place most cherished and beloved by all mankind. ABU 2258 look at the spiritual side of Haifa, not the material side, and see how spiritual it is. The prophets appeared in this region. For this reason spiritual susceptibilities come to man here. One forgets the troubles and anxieties of the world of nature. ABU 1012 now, in addition to the myriad powerful lamps that will floodlight this mountain brightly, I can see Mashrikiladkars, hospitals, schools, homes for the handicapped, orphanages, and all other humanitarian enterprises will be erected on Mount Carmel. ABU 1689 is for the return of Israel once again to Jerusalem. This is universal and not confined to the divine friends alone. However, after their gathering, they shall ultimately be attracted to the dawn of reality and enter beneath the shadow of the glorious Lord. AB 11382. I now behold the whole of this mountain basking in brilliant lights and the Haifa harbor as the anchor point of thousands of steamships. Likewise verily I see and behold the future effulgence of hospitals, schools, and sanatoriums, and the Mashrikiladkar established on this mountain. ABU 1913 the area between Akka and Haifa will all become developed. It will all become gardens, orchards, and buildings. There will be beautiful gardens. It will be such that one can walk from Haifa to Akka under the shade of trees. This sea will be filled with ships. Between Haifa and Akka ships will drop anchor. ABU 1912 in the future there will be 7 beautiful, terraced gardens from the base of the mountain up to the Holy Tomb. Then the scene will be most ravishing and unexcelled in the whole world. The mountain covered with fragrant flowers, the bright sun shining upon it with its vital, life-giving rays, the educational and charitable institutions springing up here and there. ABU 2258 Mount Carmel will be a mountain of knowledge, peace, and protection in the future, the vineyard of God. We will not live to see this in the body but will view it spiritually. Mount Carmel will someday be covered with great universities and colleges of learning. Then the poor will enjoy the highest advantages from the establishment here of free institutions of education. ABU 1699 all these fields will become schools, hospitals, homes for the elderly, orphanages, and various hostels. Eventually the kings of the earth will come from Haifa, from the most exalted spot, carrying urns of flowers on their heads to the holy shrine. Akka and Haifa will become one in the future. All of it will become gardens and palaces and buildings and a place of pilgrimage for all who dwell on earth. ABU 0463 Haifa will develop to such a degree that this mountain will be covered entirely in light. From here to Akka will be connected by roads, and on each side trees will be planted. This will become the most important port in the world. Innumerable ships will come and go. I now see ships have anchored in this bay, and with utmost humility and modesty monarchs will come to visit the shrine of the Exalted One, the Bab. ABU 3654 this is true, but I am not training thee for these parts. The field of thy labor is beyond these limited confines. As thou knowest, it is very easy for us to teach and spread the cause in this country, but the government will rise immediately against us, and the blessed tombs of Baha'u'llah and the Bab will be demolished by the hands of a fanatical mob. This is one of the many reasons that we must not raise our voice in Turkey. ABU 0624 is for the events at the holy spot. This land is in turmoil, and all are expecting that a great calamity will befall these wanderers, and suddenly some matter will occur and this land will be transformed. However, the tranquility, composure, and dignity of Abdul-Baha keeps all calm, to such an extent that perhaps a newcomer might think nothing is happening. But the divine friends must never be affected by the occurrences in this land and must not await news and events from this land. AB 05127 attaining unto this mountain, Mount Carmel, was the ultimate desire of the prophets, and it is the point of adoration of the Supreme Concourse. All the past manifestations have given glad tidings regarding this place and this dispensation, and their highest aspiration was to witness such a day and to behold and take part in such happenings. Here the tabernacle of the most great peace will be hoisted and the foundation of the wondrous divine order will be established. All this land will be built and developed. ABU 2213 ere long this mountain will be developed. Many fine buildings will be raised upon it. The shrine of the Bab will be constructed in the best possible way and most majestically. It will be surrounded with many gardens, displaying multitudes of flowers. 9 terraces will be constructed from the bottom of the mountain to the shrine of the Bab, and 9 more will be above it to the summit of the mountain. A boulevard will connect the seafront to the foot of the mountain, and it too will have gardens filled with flowers. ABU 2167 likewise Israel, which had been scattered throughout the world, was not gathered together in the Holy Land in the course of the Christian dispensation, but in the beginning of the dispensation of Baha'u'llah this divine promise, which has been clearly stated in all the books of the prophets, has begun to materialize. Observe how from all corners of the world Jewish peoples are coming to the Holy Land, acquiring villages and lands to inhabit, and increasing day by day to such an extent that all Palestine is becoming their home. AB 00091, SAQ number 12, Blessed art thou, O land of Syria. The morn of manifestation hath breathed within thee, and thereby hath the fragrance of God been diffused throughout all else. In this moment the cry of Zion hath been raised, and Mount Carmel rejoiceth at the sea of attainment. O Carmel! Thou didst taste the poison of separation through ages and centuries, now the honey of reunion hath come unto thee, inasmuch as the countenance of the Ancient of Days hath turned toward thee from this direction which was recorded in the Mother Book by the pen of the All-Merciful. BH 01341 The day will come when this mountain will be resplendent with lights from top to bottom. On one side of it there will be a hotel, a universal hotel. Its door will be open to all the people of the world. Whoever comes will be a guest. On the other side of the mountain there will be a university in which all the higher sciences will be taught. On another part of it there will be a Mashriq al-Askar. On another part of it there will be a home for the incurables. In still another part there will be a home for the poor. In still another part there will be a home for orphans. ABU 1954 The city of Haifa and the city of Akka will become one city due to extensive development, and the plain between these two cities will be entirely transformed into gardens, groves, and magnificent buildings. A wide, orderly, level, and adorned road, in the utmost elegance, delicacy, and beauty, will be extended from Mount Carmel to the sea, and tall, verdant trees will cast shadows and add to the pleasantness and freshness of the air. Leaders and kings of various peoples will come in groups to visit the holy shrine and the most exalted shrine. Akka and Haifa will become a great center of magnificent enterprises and the dawning place of the lights of sciences and arts. ABU 0288 The view from this hospice is very beautiful, especially because it faces the tomb of the Blessed Beauty and Akka. In the future it will be built up between Akka and Haifa. Akka and Haifa will be joined together and will take the first place in the world. Now, as I glance into the future, I see the greatest port in the world here. This semicircular bay will be a large harbor for ships, so that the entering boats may be protected from the waves and winds of the storm. This harbor will be filled with ships of the nations. All of these regions will be decorated by buildings and lofty palaces. Many gardens and flower beds will be made. There will be electric lights, and from here to Akka will be flooded with them. ABU 1526 ships carrying the flag of Baha'u'llah will anchor at the port of Haifa, and kings will disembark. On foot and bareheaded, and with humility and modesty, and in a state of supplication and entreaty, chanting divine verses and prayers, they will attain to a visit of the shrine of the Exalted One, the Bab. On the path to the shrine of the Exalted One, there will be pools of water, gardens, and places for rest and respite. Afterwards, with bouquets of flowers over their shoulders, and while reciting divine verses and prayers, they will visit the shrine of Baha'u'llah. At that time, after the bay is drained, a straight avenue will be constructed connecting the shrine of the Exalted One, the Bab, to the shrine of Baha'u'llah. ABU 3684. In the future, the distance between Akka and Haifa will be built up and the two cities will join and clasp hands, becoming the two terminal sections of one mighty metropolis. As I look now over this scene, I see it so clearly that it will become one of the first emporiums of the world. This great semicircular arm of the Mediterranean will be transformed into the finest harbor wherein the ships of all the nations will seek shelter and refuge. The great vessels of all the people will come to this port, bringing on their decks thousands and thousands of men and women from every part of the globe. The mountain and the plain will be dotted with most modern buildings and palaces. Industries will be established and institutions of various philanthropic nature will be found. ABU 1109. Colonel Allison asked about the present and future of Syria and Palestine. Abdul-Baha, Palestine, it is clear, will be for England, and Syria will remain in the hands of France. France will hold Syria, temporarily, but in the end it will come under English control. Now France will remain there temporarily. Syria will progress. Especially Palestine, in the same way as Egypt. Egypt has progressed very much under the English. If the Mohammedans, Christians, and Jews unite, there will be great progress. The Jews are unpopular now, but they will progress, and they will come here to reside. In the books of the prophets this promise has been given, and in the tablets of the blessed beauty for the Jews of Persia, he has written that the promises which have been given to you, that you will be gathered together, will be fulfilled. 40 years ago he wrote this. Many of the Jews of Persia have become Baha'is, and blessed souls have entered the cause. ABU 1216. The world will be so trained that no one will harm even his own enemy. ABU 3558. Cause the kindling of the fire of God, blazing in the hearts and souls of the people of East and West. AB 06739. The sun of the face is manifest and shining from the horizon of appearance. Every possessor of sight beholds it. BH 05280. It is our hope that the horizons of the Orient and the Occident may become illumined with the lights of divine civilization. ABU 3049. The Parliament of Man will be established, humanity will be spiritualized, and the standard of peace will be hoisted above every home. ABU 0868. A new era of divine consciousness is upon us. The world of humanity is going through a process of transformation. A new race is being developed. ABU 2682. Under the protection of this shepherd these sheep may graze in the meadow of clemency, and while they grow and develop acquire infinite joy and happiness. AB 07131. This is an age more ready, because of the great spiritual advance made in the great kingdom of knowledge, to understand and benefit by his just commands. ABU 2956. Politicians will become spiritual, and philosophers will become lamps of the kingdom. Leaders will establish an eternal sovereignty, and all people will shine like the stars of heaven. AB 02094. Today the world and the people are under the shadow of divine providence. The light of the sun of reality hath been shed upon the world of minds and thoughts, hence, light is seen everywhere. AB 02591. The world and its condition will change to such a degree, and the Baha'i cause will prevail to such an extent that nothing but a remnant like these pillars will remain of the previous order. ABU 3468. All the prophets and messengers were sent by the Lord of the world so that, through the endeavors of those holy souls, the sons of spiritual virtues might shine forth from the horizons of human temples. BH 05969. The human world must be quickened and refreshed by the breaths of the Holy Spirit, and through the power of the Word of God the banner of universal peace must be raised. Otherwise human powers are impotent. AB 02221. The time will come in the near future when humanity will become so much more sensitive than at present that the man of great wealth will not enjoy his luxury, in comparison with the deplorable poverty about him. ABU 3245. The lights of truth will shine forth, the mysteries of truth will become clear and evident, the flowers of the divine garden will bloom, and the springtime of the All-Merciful will encompass all regions and realms. AB 04249. What is the spirit but to be given up for the progress of divine civilization and universal peace? And what is rest and comfort but to be thrown away for the establishment of brotherhood and the spiritualization of mankind? ABU 0765. The generality of the wise themselves testify that these divine teachings are the spirit of this age and the light of this century. Humanity will find no rest, tranquility, or proper order except through the promotion of these teachings. AB 00130. But there is no limit to spiritual progress, and its results are infinite and glorious. Spiritual progress is the cause of eternal joy and the source of education and protection of the human world and everlasting happiness for humankind. ABU 2704. When you breathe forth the breath of the Holy Spirit from your hearts into the world, commerce and politics will take care of themselves in perfect harmony. All arts and sciences will become revealed and the knowledge of God will be manifested. ABU 3176. That the joys of spirituality may prevail over material pleasures, that East and West may delight in one another as lovers, and North and South embrace each other in closest affection, that the visible world may be the mirror of the world of the kingdom. ABU 1932. The teachings of the ancient beauty constitute that covenant, all of which must needs be realized in its own time, even though it may take successive centuries, yet ultimately it must be fulfilled and breathe a new spirit into the dead bodies of mankind. ABU 2545. Sanctified and holy, thou must occupy thy time with the diffusion of the lights of the kingdom, strive in the enkindlement of the hearts and the regeneration of the souls. Thou must be the servant of the blessed beauty and create a great reverberation in the spheres of thoughts and ideals. ABU 0963. Let a new spirit sweep over your temples, so that the fire of the love of God which is enkindled in your Holy of Holies may flame forth and set a spiritual conflagration to the whole of Europe. You must not rest day and night till you have breathed in this body a new spirit and ignited a light in this lamp. ABU 1673. Just as physical perfections have reached the highest degree, spiritual perfections must likewise reach the highest degree, so that both the outer and inner aspects of humanity may be illumined, and both worldly happiness and heavenly happiness may be attained. Both natural virtues and divine virtues must all become manifest. ABU 026. For the full measure of your success is as yet unrevealed, its significance still unapprehended. Ere long you will, with your own eyes, witness how brilliantly every one of you, even as a shining star, will radiate in the firmament of your country the light of divine guidance and will bestow upon its people the glory of an everlasting life. AB 11305. This assembly is an example of how in the future, the whole of humanity will enter beneath the tabernacle of the cause, rest under the shadow of a single tree, drink from the same chalice and be satisfied from the same fountainhead. The effect of such gatherings will be manifested at a future time and will attract divine confirmations. ABU 1742. Now, praise be to God, the fire of the love of God has been kindled in the censer of Iran, and its world-illumining flame has reached the Western countries. Since this divine kindled fire has begun to blaze in those vast countries, it will become more aflame day by day, and by divine help and favor its fire will spread to all directions. AB 00386. The call of God, when raised, breathed a new life into the body of mankind, and infused a new spirit into the whole creation. It is for this reason that the world hath been moved to its depths, and the hearts and consciences of men been quickened. Ere long the evidences of this regeneration will be revealed, and the fast asleep will be awakened. AB 11291. It is my wish that you shall arise to live according to these teachings and exhortations, that all of us may be divinely strengthened, enter the paradise of the spiritual kingdom, diffuse the lights of the Sun of Truth, cause the waves of this most great ocean to reach all human souls, so that this world of earth may be transformed into the world of heaven and this devastated ground be changed into the paradise of Abba. ABU 0596. God should be commemorated in every city, the lights of guidance should be diffused, the souls should be attracted to the beauty of God, the doors of knowledge should be opened, the teachings of God should be practiced, and the tongues should be eloquent in the praise of God. When these virtues become apparent within a city, the heavenly manna will descend, and that city, wherever it may be, will become a new Jerusalem. ABU 1906. The object of such a conference will be the glorification of the world of humanity and attainment to the image and likeness of God, which is related to the realm of morality. Then and not until then the individuals of the human race will become wholly abstracted from the defects of the material world, the virtues of the kingdom will be revealed in them. They will receive the heavenly bestowals, be baptized with the Holy Spirit, and attain to eternal life and everlasting felicity. AB 03302. The bright day is coming. The nucleus of the new race is forming. The harbinger of the new ideals of international justice is appearing. The trees of hope will become verdant, The copper of scorn and derision will be transmuted into the gold of honor and praise. The arid desert of ignorance will be transformed into the luxuriant garden of knowledge. The threatening clouds shall be dispelled, and the stars of faith and charity will again twinkle in the clear heaven of human consciousness. ABU 2031